got to get fluid into him. He's got to watch out for aspiration pneumonia. Because if you tell me he's coughing and starting to cough more, you have to watch it after meals, because that's the most common time where he coughs. You have to get the repeated urinary tract infections. It may be better off if he just stays on an antibiotic or not. But you have to do something about that, because if that stays in there, he's going to get recurrent infections. That'll catch up to him. So, and then you have to worry about the secondary effects from the syndrome, which are now there. If he's having bad dreams, this is just before you end up with psychotic breaks.
So you
he's on the verge of that, especially if he has these uncontrolled spells of aggression or
is that common?
Control. Well, it's common when you start to lose control.
Yeah.
And that is hard. That is hard to get under control.
You know, he started getting these anger bouts where he just had he was like, he couldn't express himself, was getting really frustrated, and that, I guess that was really happening almost daily, every morning when he first went up to this big increase in dose. Now it's subsided, and it doesn't really happen anymore, as I'm aware.
It can return.
Okay. And what about the option of, what would happen if he just, I'm just asking, just out of curiosity, what would happen if you just took him off all these medications? What would happen to him?
He would have some serious problems.
Okay.
He would have withdrawal phenomena, which is a horrendous price to pay.
So does
blood pressure would soar or drop. He would be in serious trouble. It would be life-threatening.
All right, so
if you just cut it out abruptly,
well,
it would be life-threatening.
Yeah, I mean, not abruptly, but what I'm saying is, you know, what about the option of going on very low dose or no medications? Does that ever help? I've read stuff where people go on drug holidays where they go off medication.
We don't do that.
Okay.
That's passé.
All right, so it's better just to stay on it.
When you take them off and then you try to go back later, it never gets back to baseline.
Okay, so it's better just stay stable on what he has.
What I would do is go back to the 25-100s, all right, and just give it to him more frequently.
Okay.
Instead of giving it to him 3 times a day, give it to him 5 times a day. So it's a little less in the total dosage.
Yeah.
And it's 25. You sure it's not 5,200? 5,200?
How you saw it on my phone?
It's
exactly what it is.
Okay, go back to 25-100.
Can you write me a prescription for that?
Yeah, sure. And give it to him about every 3 hours, but a total of 5 doses a day.
Oh.
All right.
Well, that's gonna be something. No, I'm just worried about, you know, it's so frequent. I just hope that it doesn't, you know, they're not skipped very often or anything. It's a better don't have these nightmares, huh?
Well, the nightmares will become less. They may not disappear.
Yeah.
And then you have to play it by ear from there.
Okay.
But you got to get rid of those nightmares. You got to get rid of the urinary tract infections. You got to get rid of the cough. And you got to make sure he gets enough fluid, because if he's dehydrated.
Is there any suggestions on how to? Has there any suggestions on how to get him to take in more fluids? I've been trying to give him more fruit.
I have no way to do it. Any way you can get it in, any fluid that he likes. Milkshakes would be great. Better nutrition, because he's already lost a lot of weight. What was his normal weight?
He's been really stable for a long time.
What was his normal weight before?
Yeah, he's been 145 to 150 pounds since I was a kid.
How tall is he?
5'5".
Is he still there?
Is he still where?
140.
Yeah, he's still at 145. I believe that's what he's at. I'm pretty sure. He's probably lost.
When's the last time you weighed him?
Recently, the last couple of weeks. I mean, the doctor just said, we had a house call visit doctor come and just weighed him and said he hadn't lost or gained any weight in the last 4 weeks. He's probably lost some muscle and put on a little bit of fat, but he's pretty stable. He's a good eater. He eats a lot. He's still got his appetite. So try to give him more liquid calories, huh?
Any way you can get it into him, he's got to have more liquids.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the live-in aid to give him less.
The problem is, if you give him more liquids, that means he's going to put out more urine.
Well, that's good. I wish I wanted to put more urine.
Yeah,
I mean, when he goes to the bathroom, it's like yellow clay. It's terrible.
Oh, jeez.
No, he's never been. He's always had problems drinking. He's always dehydrated.
It's a serious problem.
No, I know.
To have Parkinson's disease. I have to get that across to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to give him more fruit,
So
more liquid calories.
Those are the major things.
Yeah.
Anything you can get into.
Are there any specific activities that you'd recommend besides just
walking?
walking?
You wouldn't get him to do anything else anyway.
What about going up and down stairs or something like that?
Let's get him walking on flat surfaces first.
Yeah.
See how much you can get him to walk.
Well, I wasn't going to put him on a Stairmaster, but there are steps.
Just get him to walk.
Okay. And what about pet therapy? He has a dog. How important do you think it is that he keep the dog?
If he likes the dog and the dog's a companion to him, it's a plus. If the dog is a source of infection, it's a negative.
No. Well, you mean in terms of bringing in germs or something like that?
Yeah.
Keeping the dog clean is important. We got to groom him.
Okay, that's fine.
So reviewing is the only thing you recommend is giving him a lower dose, more frequent of the Cinnamon.
And I'm giving him the generic.
How often should we be coming back to talk to you?
Let's see if he gets through this business.
What about the antidepressants that he's taking? Is that okay?
It's minimal dosage. It's drop in the bucket. He's not depressed.
He can be pretty nasty when he's not happy.
What, when he's off that?
Yeah, before he was.
Making that much of a difference?
It's making definitely making a difference. He was really depressed.
It is because then the patient has no alternative but to call you back. Be like, you know what?
Are there board games or specific activities that try to keep
I
the?
don't know if you can concentrate to have him doing any board games.
Well, nothing complicated, but is there any activities that are supposed to be stimulating the brain to keep him?
Any activity that you can get him doing, watching television and then discussing what he sees, is the best thing.
Does that help at all, or it's just kind of, if you talk to him a lot more?
A little bit. The more you talk to him, the more it helps.
Yeah.
Is it a major thing?
Yeah.
Probably not, but all these little things together add up.
What would you say would be the top 3 most important you should do each day?
Hydration, get rid of the aspiration, and get rid of the urinary tract infection. 4 things. The urinary tract infection and the psychosis, the potential psychosis.
Okay. And the coughing almost only happens.
Is a bad sign.
It only happens at night after dinner.
After dinner.
And when he's sleeping at night.
When he's sleeping, it's another story. But he's not swallowing his liquids or his saliva. That's what makes you cough.
But why does it only happen at night?
It doesn't happen overnight. You said after dinner.
It's mainly when he's falling asleep. That's pretty much it. It's mainly at night between when he's 10 p.m. when he's going to bed.
Well, what goes with this thing right now is the speech is so subdued, okay, and that means the swallowing is also affected. And if the swallowing is affected and the speech is that subdued, he is a potential risk for aspiration.
The hospital.
You ought to get a swallowing evaluation on him.
How would
ear, nose, and throat guy can do that.
Okay. When he was at this residential hospital, they said they put him on a puree diet.
It was probably good.
So how important is that, you think?